Meeting to order. Citizen comments? No? Okay. Let me just find my agenda. Okay. There we go. The minutes, approval of the minutes from December 14th. Does anyone have any changes or corrections?
I move to accept the minutes from December 14, 2017.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Corporate monthly bills. Brian?
Okay. The unusuals as we go down. ASCAP is our annual music license, so we can play music at concerts. So we pay that every year. Chicago Tribune Media Group is legal postings. City of Evanston, $6,000 is the after-school program. They invoiced us. It's in the bills. Dengio's Fish Keg was a holiday lunch upstairs. Ann Cavode made it. Very nice of her to be there. Elmo Association of Park District is our annual fee, and I'm sure it's a mistake, but we're paying it the low number and see what happens. It's usually in the thousands. Joel Islas is our electrician that supervised the lighting at Cayman Park. That's 6 days of labor and $500 permit that he paid at the City of Evanston. Jewel Foods, some kids forgot their lunch in holiday camp. Stephanie Kilber is a reimbursement for background check. Maine Dempster Mile is a camp fair that Natalie's going to go to. New Toys Leisure Product is the perimeter around the play circuit at Brummel. We will get reimbursed for that from the City of Evanston. Pennell Andrews Construction installed it. Ridgeville Band of Evanston is our annual support check we send them. Ridgeville Foundation is reimbursement for 2 events, Soccer Fest, which took in income, and Shakespeare donors priority seating. They raised some revenue that way. It comes to Ridgeville and we get it back to them. Marissa Wallstrom is a refund. She signed up for the wrong camp. And then WUFU is our annual fee for online registration. Yoga Direct is mats and blankets for yoga classes.
I move to accept the corporate monthly bill summary of January 11, 2018 for the total amount of $28,620.89.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just repeat the Ridgeville Foundation. We are sending them a check. They pay for something.
What's that?
Ridgeville Foundation. He doesn't understand the foundation.
No, so people can register and make donations. They send it in online to our online system, and then we reimburse the Park District. One was for donations for priority seating, and the other was Soccer Fest team entry fees.
Okay. Okay, so moving on. We don't have petty cash, I guess.
No petty cash.
That's done. So Natalie.
All right. This month, Ridgeville Park District is celebrating the life of Miss Yvonne. She was one of our very own district community advocates. Yvonne was the coordinator of the Brummel Park Neighbors, an organization made up of neighbors that work to keep the park safe. She worked in the Children's Division of St. Mary of Nazareth Hospital in Chicago as a psychiatric social worker. Yvonne passed away in November of 2017. We are very grateful for all she did for the children and for our community. You can read more about her on our celebration board. Update on Studio 908. Winter and spring registration are now open. Some classes have really excellent enrollment already, which is great. Others not as much, which I expected. All of our instructors are on board and they are assisting me with the marketing. We have 3 demo classes coming up, actually 4 since I wrote this. We're doing Family Fusion Yoga this Saturday, as well as Intro to Modern Dance for Adults. On Sunday, we're demoing Vinyasa Power Yoga, our new yoga classes. And then on Tuesday, we're doing a West African dance and drum demo class. I've invested a little bit of money in Google AdWords and on Facebook event promotion to help get the word out about Studio 908 programming. I just started doing that today. I spent a couple hours with Mike Miro this morning so he could kind of walk me through that. So we got a phone call from a woman in Chicago today that clicked on our ad. So
There you go.
we're at the 48 cents that we've spent so far. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to continue to experiment with those things and hopefully, fingers crossed, that helps spread the word. Camps and workshops. Winter camp just wrapped up and everything went really well. We had a great group of kids and counselors. Our camp director, Dee, was awesome, as always. The next half-day workshop begins, or will be on January 17th. We're running stories in action for grades 1 through 5 and then for grades 6 through 8. Summer camp registration opened and is off to a great start. In the coming months, I'll start reaching out to past staff members and begin the hiring process. I've also registered for the 2018 Mayor Summer Youth Employment Program, again, at ETHS. Camp fairs, I'm attending the King's Art Camp Fair and the Maine Dempster Mile Camp Fair this month. John Dalton, who we're partnering with from Adventures in Cardboard for spring break and summer camps, is going to join me. So I'm looking forward to that. That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see who's next here. Jerry.
You should have the regular set of monthly reports for the month of November. Remember, we didn't have those last month. I do not have the reports for December, as I have not yet received from the office staff the information I need to be able to post the month of December. The appropriations ledger is presented to you in two formats. The regular format's on the back page. The front is a summary version of the same information. It just kind of scrunches things down by general categories and is a more concise way of looking at the information. You'll notice that there are 4 new accounts on the appropriations ledger, CA 96 through CA 99. This is to deal with the audit issue that came up as far as how we handle items that have cleared our bank accounts but have not come before the board for approval. What I'll be doing is posting those items immediately into these accounts as unapproved appropriations. You know, the issue being I don't know at that point what category they should be expensed to. When you approve the bills report, presumably, because the office is aware of all of these charges, because they get an email, the minute the debit card is used, they get an email right away telling them that it was used. So they ought to be hunting down the paperwork and getting it on the bills report. So if they all are on the regular bills report and it gets approved by the board, then the next month when I process things, they'll come out of this account and get categorized to the right category. If they aren't, they will be moved into the write-off account. And at the next board meeting after that, so when we hit the second board meeting, they will be up for review to be written off or to develop an action plan for recovering the money.
Okay.
This is a little different process than I described last month. I think this one's going to be simpler and easier to work with than having to create a supplemental second set of reports every month and approve 2 sets of reports every month.
Makes sense.
So as it stands now, we've got close to $3,000 of expenditures that haven't come before the board for approval. I've already looked at CA 96, and you've got in your packet a report, a 2-sided report. One side has the unapproved entries, so that's the 281760 total, and the other side of the report are the write-offs. Well, on the 2,817.60, that's the list of items, and if you compare that list against the bills report for tonight, you'll see all of them are on the bills report with the exception of one item, which is a bad item. That'll probably come up next month to be written off and go from there. The back side of the report, the unapproved entries pending write-off, these are items that have been sitting there for several months now, one of them since last June and one of them since October, that haven't come before you for approval and should have a long time ago. So I'm jumping ahead in my report a little bit. I'm going to have a motion at the end of the report. I'm going to ask you to propose a motion to write those items off. kind of going back and following the,
So when you say write, when you say write them off, you mean just approve them because they've already been paid?
they've been paid, well, you could say, hey, look, we're not gonna spend this and come up with what are we gonna do to recover it? Either return the item and get our money back. If it was an employee that spent the money without authorization, charge it back to the employee, it comes out of their pocket.
But I assume there's no issue with these two items. I mean, Brian, do you know?
Are you talking about this page right here?
No, this
The
page.
backside.
The two
The
items.
back
Other
side.
200, 192.
Oh,
Sam's Club and.
The 991 was on the December bills, so that one's gonna.
That's gone.
That's gone. So it's
Okay.
just that 182.80 to Sam's Club back in June.
Back in August.
What's the Sam's Club in
It's
in
probably
August?
for, supplies. for-
oh, it's June 16th.
June 16th was the original charge. August is
Oh.
when one of the accounting entries was made.
So we don't have any idea what that was?
We haven't researched it.
So the
We will
motion would be
And at
for
this
one,
point, because it's sat there as long as it has, we just have to force the issue and approve it. And-
Okay.
Or, I mean, it's too hard to recover at this point realistically on that one.
the write-off motion then would be for 182.80.
Right, right. And I've got that language at the end
Okay.
of the report here. So,
That would-
and what I'm proposing is, because without the research, we don't know what category to charge it to, that when we do charge things off, it's gonna be charged off against office and administration.
That was a debit card?
Yes.
Uh-huh. That was right around the time camp started.
Yep.
So-
It was the second week of camp.
Yeah, so it's probably something camp related, I would imagine.
Snacks.
Yeah.
Lots of goldfish
Very, very likely.
and Ritz crackers and cups.
So that'll be the process. Overall, on the appropriations report, we're running right about where we would expect to be from a budget utilization standpoint, so no concerns there. But again, remember, that's through the end of November. That doesn't include the December numbers that passed tonight. And that covers everything under the discussion of the outstanding items report. The regular things that you have approved but haven't cleared our bank accounts, that regular outstandings report, no change to that. There's some items on there that have been on there for quite a while. The one comment I'll make about that is there's a new state law that just took effect, and the time periods have been reduced by 3 years for when we have to report this stuff, so we're gonna have to give this money to the state a lot faster than we used to have for unclaimed funds. So, that's something I'm gonna be dealing with in the next, because we've already got the other issue. We have on this list, I forget which item, but one of these items is for somebody who's passed away, and the estate is saying they can't take the money. So we're gonna have to give the money to the state. I'm gonna be talking to you. We have to get a special piece of software from the state, because the only way they accept this information is through an electronic file, because it's a national standard, all the states use.
Why
this
can't
format.
the state take the money?
I can't answer that. I haven't had those conversations.
I think it would be better to force them to take the money than to
Wouldn't that be nice?
register.
That would be a lot easier. But that's why I'll be reaching out to you to maybe work with Brian or Anna Christina to maybe reach out to the family and try and figure out what do they need to take their money to.
What's the amount of the money?
I don't remember which item it is on this report.
Under 1,000 or over?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on.
yeah, it's $300 or $400.
Yeah. So it might be cheaper just to save it versus getting legal help.
Well, the,
Legal help's fabulous, I mean.
we're gonna spend a
Good
lot of
sales.
time acquiring this software, getting certified, figuring out what job is it to run this software, and then deal with any penalties for doing any of it wrong. It might be easier to let Charlie make it
It'd
go
be easier
away.
if we could figure out and make them take the money.
Yeah, okay.
Because once you report once, then you're
Yeah,
kind of
then
like on
you-
their radar, and they'll be counting you every year. For why did
It's
you
like
have something
getting
last year if you
audited.
don't have something this
When
year?
they get back to Ridgeville.
It used to be we were exempt as a park district under a certain size. They kind of eliminated the ability to be exempt. They're tightening the screws each year a little more, forcing us into the system. We've managed to evade it so far, but it's gonna sound really nasty. And it just isn't fun. We thought reporting stuff to the IRS was fun. This is less fun, from what I can tell so far. Statement of revenue and appropriations. That's on the back of the balance sheet. What I'll comment on there is just kind of looking at it from a cash flow standpoint, because that's about all that's useful at this point. As of November, we don't have levy information on it, so it's not a terribly meaningful report. But from a cash flow standpoint, just to see as far as disbursements of money relative to revenues of money, our revenue over the appropriations, bottom left column, $1,400. So as we move into the December postings, we're going to go negative where we've spent more than we've brought in for the year until we get to that spring tax bill. So we're living off of our reserves from November forward.
Does the fact that people don't pay taxes have any?
No.
It doesn't do it.
Doesn't do. Well, I don't know until I post January. It might. Or they may just hold it and pay us interest for holding it until the regular disbursement time. The balance sheet is on the back side. I don't have any particular comment on the balance sheet. Any questions? And at the very bottom are the two motions I'm looking for tonight. The first motion, in January of every year, we take whatever remaining balances in the accounts payable for the recreation fund and take that money into revenue as farmers market revenue. We have a whopping,
$18.14.
yes, $18.14.
So moved. Treasurer motion number 1 for $18.14.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And number 2 is to reclassify and write off the unapproved appropriation as office administration expense.
I so move motion treasurer number 2 for the amount of $182.80.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
What were the two numbers there?
They're at the bottom of my report of the package of information I handed you. T1 and T2.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Easy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, is that all?
That's it.
Okay. Brian?
Okay. The ice rink was up and running, but it's 50 degrees today. We got a good 2.5, 3 weeks. We opened it with warming house hours right after Christmas. Luis Mendoza was supervising the Cayman Fieldhouse during posted hours. We had a good number of skaters, averaging about 30 a day during those warming house hours. Marcos and Luis done a nice job keeping the rink ready in December. Ruben's back at work. You can see the attached thank you from a neighbor, Chris Gibbons. But the ice was really, really nice for about a week. I mean, really nice. On December 17th, Michelle Hayes and some Brumble Park neighbors used the community house for a holiday bazaar gift giveaway. It was a big success according to Michelle. I came to the end of it. You can see the photograph of the gift giveaway attached. So it was a nice thing for some people in need. The after-school program is now set to start January 28th. I think that's a Sunday.
It is.
But at any rate, whatever that Monday is, it's the first day of the second semester. We are still working with internet details with Comcast. It's a long story, but we're getting close. It should be taken care of by the 28th. I also have an attached thank you from Alderman Fleming regarding that program. Summer camp registration began, as Natalie already told you. We will begin hiring and confirming returning staff in February. Natalie's done a great job with the brochure and expanding programs. Registration for classes and camps very strong. Finally, we've been named in the will of a Ridgeville resident and will receive some money. Charles, I left you a copy. Ann has a copy. We don't know how much money yet. They're going to close all the outstandings with the estate, and then they go through percentages. After that, we'll know like in 60 days. But it was, the resident asked that we use the money to add large trees and flowering shrubs to our parks, specifically Brummel. I will keep you updated on the process as we move forward.
Is there a reason you haven't named the person?
What's that?
Is there a reason you haven't named the person?
It's Yvonne Vandehaven.
That's nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Quick history, we did a lot of work with her in the 90s, early 2000s, and then she went to a assisted living. So we haven't done a lot with her in the last 10 years or so. But way back in the 90s, when the Brumwell Park Neighbors kind of formed, she was the main reason it formed and the main reason it stayed together. She's a good lady.
It's a wonderful, wonderful gift. We don't know the amount, of course, but whatever it is, to keep it legal, what is the process for a
There you go.
donation
That's a
like
good
that?
question.
Do you know?
From an accounting standpoint,
Yeah.
they would take it into our account.
How to spend it.
It's also restricted, in a
I'm
way.
not sure that it is. It does say that, but I think it's more of a guideline.
Uh-huh, okay.
Which once you get the money, it's the district's to spend.
Well, I
But as
think
a
it'd be
commission,
good.
if we
I
can
think we
honor
should
the wishes
honor
of the
the
family.
That's a different issue.
Yeah.
Is it something we're gonna have to put in the budget to spend?
To spend it, yes. I
So
mean,
we
that's
can't-
when we bring the- yeah,
so we
can bring-
can't actually
bring the
spend it till
revenue
next year?
in, But
We don't wanna spend it to the fall anyways.
Okay.
Planning.
You may not have it.
Timing might be perfect.
You may not have it then.
These things take a
I
while.
said 60 days. and
we
That
take
seems,
longer.
that seems aggressive, but it's possible that it's all in cash somewhere and so easy to do.
Okay.
At any rate, if we have to put it in the budget, we have 120 days to get that done,
Okay.
to July, and they're actually September.
But eventually, as that goes forward, it would be nice as a commission to be able to talk about it and formally, acknowledge the family
Right, absolutely.
to make a big deal of it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, aren't we going to name that park after her as well?
That was a request by Michelle Hayes. I spoke with Michelle. Naming the park's pretty big move, but we also talked about naming Play Circuit after her.
Yeah, I think we
So-
should do that. Yeah.
So there's things to discuss as we get further along.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
You had a lot of confusion if you change the name to a park.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, it might be better to have, or just a garden there. I mean,
Yeah.
she's asking for green things.
She loved the kids.
All right, Anna, I'm assuming it's not. Okay, strategic planning and goals, that's me. This is kind of tied to what I presented last month with the annual review process. So what I presented last month was a different way of doing the annual review. And so I thought we should start the year by naming our goals. So I've just come up with some ideas, I'm gonna pass them out. And I thought, you guys, I think we should all contribute about what we want to see happening here at Ridgeville. I don't know if there's two there. Yeah. Here we go.
Thank you.
So this is just a list that I've created. I think that it could be added to and changed or, but I think what I was presenting last month, you weren't here, but having SMART goals for the organization. And so, just kind of putting timelines on things, what we want to see happen, just having a plan, basically. So, is there anything else anyone would like to add to those?
It's a good list.
What's that, Brian?
I said it's a good list.
Well, and you already got one of them done?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
How do we propose to increase class revenues? Up the cost of the class?
no, offer more classes. I think that's one of the things, I think it was at a meeting earlier in the year, we had talked about that with Natalie. And with our budgeting, to get to the point where we budgeted for class revenues, we need to increase by 25%.
Seems like they were increased this year.
I don't know where we are yet, do you?
I don't know where we are yet. My goal that I was given was like closer to 50%, so I have lofty goals. So we'll see.
Cool.
Things look good.
Okay, shooting high.
I'm shooting high.
All right.
Yeah. And then,
Nothing wrong with that.
and this would be through this budget year. I
Oh,
mean,
revenues, I'm thinking classes have certainly been increased, so.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's, and then another concern I have is this new program that we are offering, which I think is great, and I think we all think it's great, but I also worry about how we're gonna pay for that. And so I think, reaching out to other organizations or applying for grants or something to keep that going. Because I'd like to see it become sustainable.
talk about the after-school program.
Yeah, because it's 6,000 this time, it'll probably be 12,000 for the entire year for next year. So where do we put that in our budget? How do we raise those extra funds? So that is just something that I think we all need to figure out. And then I gave away my last copy.
There you go.
Well, and then the next thing on the to-do list was the art studio renovation. And so, kind of look at what that looks like for this year. And then just the partnerships we had talked about, Presence Healthcare or any other organizations. Like with Shoot, now we're partnering with them, with City of Chicago, or City of Evanston. We're also, Natalie's already started talking with people at Oakton. So, all this stuff is going, but I think if we have it in writing and we say this is, what we're trying to do this next year. Providing safe and enjoyable summer camps, we're already doing that. And equipment is always an issue.
Yep. Lighter's next on the list.
So how do you think we're going to be able to fund some of that?
I don't know. But there's other issues as we start getting into the budget, like this building needs a roof.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to look at all sorts of things. And we might have to talk to Jerry about capital improvements and that kind of stuff. Because I got people coming out to look at it. Obviously, it's been very cold, but in my mind, there's no doubt we need a new roof upstairs.
When you say roof, you mean shingles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'd re-shingle over, would it be cheaper? I know you can go 3 roofs.
Well, 2 now in Evanston.
Is it 2 in Evanston?
Yeah.
Well, we got 1 on there, so,
Oh, so you have to,
You can shingle
after
over.
3, you have to tear it off?
yes.
For Dan saying it's after 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're more strict now.
My house had like 5.
I know.
It's all gone, so there's the whole budget's gonna be a bigger puzzle than usual.
Anyway, so that kind of ties to the annual review process. So I think if there's anything anyone else wants to add, so maybe for the February meeting, we could have this more formalized and have that be part of the review process for the end of next year, the end of 2018.
That's great, Dan.
I
Thank
would
you.
just add that, Brian's review is today, so
Right.
maybe there's other goals that you've got in mind, so I think.
I have them
I'd like
right
to hear what he has to say also. Unless you guys worked on this together and sort of collaborated.
But it's a good list.
Yeah, great.
All right, so security.
Security. Where's my update on security? Okay, so the combination's changed. As I told you last month, we're having a problem with the cameras that we have, not the cameras, the monitors that we have. One's up and working, one's not. So we're looking into 2 different systems. Ruben's confident he can install them. One's by A-Phone, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a system they have at Pope John's preschool and school. And then there's another system at Best Buy, which I'm not sure is as good as A-Phone, but it's a little cheaper and they'll install. So we're going to look at both of those in the next month. But we're talking $1,200 to $1,500 for the new camera, new systems. And the system would have a system on your desk. We'd get one, and then you can do it by phone at the other desk. And then you could buzz people in if we lock the door, like, let's say, board meeting's over and we're still here, we would lock the door, and if somebody, so you could buzz them in, you'd have the camera on them, you can talk to them, things of that nature. But the one at Pope John is a really nice system. I took Ruben over there yesterday. So we're looking at $1,200 to $1,500.
What about timing, Brian, do you think?
Well, timing's not a problem.
Oh.
Because the combination's already changed, everybody knows how to get in the building. So the timing, it would be better to do it in the winter. Obviously, we get too busy and the doors open all the time in the summer. But timing's not a problem. We could do it anytime in the next month or two.
Do you need anything from us to go ahead with it?
No, it's not in the budget, but we gotta figure that one out too.
$1,200, if we gave the okay,
Oh, I'll get it done.
I mean, that, to me, it seems like a good investment for security.
Yeah, that's gonna come out of the corporate side,
Yeah,
the building fund.
yeah.
So we'll have to look at, one thing that's in the budget that we're not doing, but it's on the recreation side, I believe, is the siding, because it came back astronomical. Siding repair came back at like 13,000, we budgeted 4. So
The siding.
there's little bubbles and missing pieces, stuff like that.
So have you done all the investigation you're gonna do at this point? So you're ready to go with this system that costs 12?
No, Ruben and I are gonna go to Best Buy together,
You're gonna keep looking, okay.
and then I wanna talk to the guy about installation, because the last thing I wanna do is buy a thing and he comes over here and he goes, I can't install it here.
Yeah.
Stuff like that always happens with us. So at any rate, we're close.
Good.
Do you feel like you got the go-ahead, if you feel comfortable with it? Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Charles?
Okay, so I think everybody's seen the draft sexual harassment policy that I prepared that will comply with the Illinois legislature's requirement as to sexual harassment policies for all governmental units within the state. Does anybody have any questions about it? Or?
I move to accept the Ridgeville Park District sexual harassment policy as outlined by the adopted Board of Commissioners, Ridgeville Park District on January 11, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we should attach the sexual harassment policy to the minutes, so the minutes can reflect that the attached policy was adopted. Do you have a copy of the policy?
Attached to the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all you need to do to attach. Yeah.
Thank you for doing
Sign
this.
down there.
Thank you.
Okay.
And date.
PDF?
What's above, date's above.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to get that.
Any PDF.
We're good?
Okay. So I think we're down to call of the commissioners. Anybody have anything tonight?
One of our neighbors donated Brian a couch that's in very good condition. I've got it in storage right now for the
Okay.
new after-school program. I just wanted to wait until I got the okay from you guys to deliver something like that, but
Here's our, we'll take it and we'll put it in the garage art studio for the time being.
okay.
But here's what's going on. The band has 40-some people in it.
Oh,
There's a foosball machine in it. The city's gonna donate a TV set. So at any rate, we're gonna play that one by ear and then maneuver, because the last thing, if you've been in the building, there's not a whole lot of wall space, there's windows right above everything. At any rate, we've gotta figure out where to put the TV, and then if there's a sofa, then the band literally puts up 40 chairs on Tuesday night, so it's getting a little, we gotta figure it out. It's not brain surgery, but we'll figure it out.
but you're okay with that if we
Yeah,
deliver it
we'll put it
during
in-
business
I would
hours?
like to- I would like to
Okay.
respond. I'm not okay with that. I don't think we need to be getting a couch in any of our buildings right now if we don't know where it's coming from and if it's not brand new. I mean, there's too many things going around these days
bed bugs.
You know, it's just not appropriate, I don't think. And I don't think we need a couch.
Well, I think we needed it at Cayman though.
Right.
No, but if we can't use it at Cayman, I don't think we should have it be sitting somewhere else. So I would hesitate to take a couch from somebody that we don't know where it came from in today's environment. There's too many possibilities there. There could be a problem.
Well, it's a loaded statement. I'm not quite sure what you're
Well,
saying,
I'm
but,
just saying,
well, let me
Like-
finish, sir.
like-
Commissioner, be respectful. Somebody donated a couch. Where it's stored until we can use it, that's a question, that's part of your statement.
That is my
And I
statement.
don't mind storing it till it's ready, you know, for the place. But when we were planning with the city, that's exactly what we were asking
Right.
for. And one of the neighbors heard that, and she donated. I thought that was fantastic.
Like the city also said they have a couch too. and
Right.
Yeah,
We said, let's hold off on that
yeah.
until we get the program going and
Right.
see how crowded it goes.
So I don't mind waiting to not store it here. That's cool, I understand, Commissioner. But the idea of not accepting a donation from a neighbor, like a couch, I mean, I totally disagree with the second half of what you're saying. I think that's something we should use. That's a great idea. It's good for the kids, it's good for us, and that's the original plan.
If you go over to Mason, they have comfy chairs, couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of that would kind of would be
Yeah.
nice.
It,
Yeah.
Would you accept a bed?
right.
Would you accept a bed?
Mattress?
I mean, I think it would probably just be upon inspection. I mean, why don't we have a look at it?
So you're gonna say
That
some
would be
people
a mistake.
thank you, but no, we don't think your house is clean?
I don't know, I think it's hard to turn away a gift.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it often isn't a gift.
Right, getting rid of it.
It's basically getting rid of it because it costs $25 to dispose of a couch.
Mhm.
So it's very easy to say, would you take my couch out of my apartment?
It might be
And-
really nice.
Yeah, I feel insulted by that,
That's
but
not the point. Couches are a dime a dozen, you know?
It's
We
just
don't
not-
need
But they're also very expensive to buy.
Okay, but
Yeah,
a
the
used
other,
couch.
the other minor problem we'll have is when the program's over, we have nowhere to put it.
Pardon?
We have nowhere to put it.
Uh-huh.
That's,
So let's just table it for a while.
I mean, we have nowhere, the city would, said they'd get their stuff out ASAP, but at any rate, we could store it here or whatever,
So again,
I don't
fumigate it,
we don't need to be storing furniture if we're not going to be using it.
right?
There's a whole health rule about this. I mean, there's, you know,
I hadn't heard about that, but. Well, what do we see? You know. What else do we have here? Oh, I had something about the program. I actually was working with Mr. McCullen's wife, and she was saying that it had hit all the social media among the PTA and parents, that they were very excited about us
I'm on
hosting the
that
program.
Facebook.
Are you?
And
Yeah.
they are very excited.
Yeah, I think that was really cool.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the round table put something there about it. You know, I'd like to see the round table cover Ridgeville on a regular basis.
Well, that would take sending out some press releases, so that might be something that we do.
But you've
Haven't
come
started
before,
this.
right, Natalie?
I've emailed Sean
Uh-huh.
about some things, about Studio 908 programming and things like that. And I haven't heard back from him, so I don't know if any of you have any contacts with the roundtable that I could reach out to, but I'm happy to do that because I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love
Yeah, I
promotion
just-
in
I was
any
reading
way.
today and I
for
thought
Dayton
we
Park.
should be in there.
Yeah, I think it takes work on our side. I just know I've been involved with stuff at the library.
We have to give them the information.
Right,
I
exactly,
mean,
right. So, you know, maybe at the launch, we write up something and, you know, say it's starting January 28th. We could, you know, we could do that in the next couple of
It'd be
weeks.
nice every time it comes out, just have a little blurb in there about Ridgeville and what they're doing, the skate, this, and that, you know?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of picky about what they cover. I mean,
Please.
I do.
I don't think they cover everything, but, you know, if it's I would think this would be of interest to the roundtable.
Well, there's a lot of cool things happening. I
Yeah.
feel like they should
Yeah.
share with the community.
All right then. Any more citizen comments? You guys are very nice to be here at the meeting. Thank you. All right, so I'll entertain a move to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
To executive session?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's, everyone needs to leave except for Boyd and Brian.